This morning, we are highlighting a special place to some, the Roxy Theatre. It once a lively entertainment venue specifically for Black Americans, now is on historic Macon's fading 5 list of endangered places. There have been previous efforts to reinvigorate the building, but where does this all stand today? One woman we talked to hopes to see some change. For the last 75 years, this now shabby Quonset hut-style building has been part of the fabric of the Greenwood Bottom neighborhood.
It's a little sad to just see it sitting there, just a shell, nothing being used.
The Roxy Theatre opened in 1949, the same year Macon native Betty Freeman was born. Her sharp memory today helps tell the story of the Roxy's vibrant past.
They had the marquee up there that said Roxy, and it just blinked and it just bright lights.
Freeman has lived across the street in her family's home her entire life. She often sits on the porch, fondly remembering the long lines of people from all across town, eagerly waiting to get inside.
And we had James Brown, Otis Redding, Little Richard. All of them started off over there in the talent shows.
Performers, she tells me, even her parents knew would outgrow Macon.
My mama was still living then, so she said he made it.
For Freeman and her brothers, the Roxy served as not only an entertainment venue, but a safe space during a difficult time for Black Americans, the Jim Crow era.
We couldn't attend their theaters, the white theaters, so we had to have our own.
That is why Phil Kaplan constructed the space for Black patrons. The Roxy eventually closed in 1958. A religious group converted the building into a church that closed in the 1990s, and since then, a vacant shell of its former self sits at Hazel and 3rd Streets.
I wish there was a way that we could revitalize the structure.
Cleaning up one of Weston Stroud's biggest projects, he works for the city and received a grant 5 years ago to revamp the area.
$5,000 doesn't go very far, but what you can do with that is to begin to mobilize people, to educate people about the history.
He wants community involvement, so he's spending time talking with businesses and city leaders to bring attention to the need for revitalization. Here he shows me conversations with the out-of-state owners to begin the process of a historic site designation.
And they end up changing the locks.
Today he plans to get more people involved in hopes of getting the owners' attention.
Especially in a time where we're seeing culture wars at an all-time high, where history is being, dismissed. This is a piece of history that's still standing that deserves the respect.
A sentiment Betty shares.
It bothers me.
She has a few ideas on what this structure could be, but remains hopeful everyone comes together to get it done.
They say it take a village, and that's one step towards getting the village together.
Let me tell you, she is a wealth of knowledge. Stroud tells me because the owners are not in this area, that makes it even harder to collaborate and emphasize the importance of the building. We tried calling the owners, number listed on the door, and never heard back.